Okay, am I back on? Okay, hopefully YouTube behaves. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So we're back on with all the information corrected. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much, first of all, for being so patient with me with all my tech snafus because uh, believe me, it's been a trial. Each time you all show up, at least it makes me feel much better. Makes everything that I do super worth it. So, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. All right. Yeah, sorry about the bit rate. I don't know why it's not it's not behaving the way it should. Um, but we will do our best with what we have for today. And okay, for some reason it keeps my Twitch keeps popping back to Daytona. It is tarot today. Come on. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why it's doing that. Um, but yeah, figured I start with a little bit of Nights into Dreams, Journey into Dreams music a little bit, because it's nighttime. And, well, the game's music I feel like needs a little bit of a callback. Because it's good music. Like, Sega really ate with that soundtrack. Like, they really did. They really ate. Ah, but yeah. Anyway, all I can say for those who have tuned in for as long as I've been streaming on the site, thank you very much for doing that because really, you all have made such a difference to me this year. You all have certainly helped me take some risks in terms of content, in terms of me pulling on camera, just doing all these awesome things. So all I can say is just thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. It really means a lot, you showing up here. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. So we had a stream earlier on Daytona, USA. So that's why you might have seen a little bit of a chat here a little earlier. Because yesterday I actually went to Daytona, the speedway and the beach itself that it's named after. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we didn't get there early enough to like catch the tour, but we at least were able to catch the speedway, and well, we were able to hear all the cars go past. So that was pretty cool. That certainly gave me some goosebumps hearing all the cars rolling past. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So today is the final Tarot Saturday of 2025. Oh, now I feel pretty mixed because like before, I mean, it's been interesting to say the least, because on the one hand, I think pretty much everyone has been saying this on the internet, that the holidays haven't exactly felt the same since last year. In the last few years. But simultaneously, it's been, at least for me, there's been a huge difference. Like the last few years, I gotta confess, the last few years of the Christmas holiday, they haven't exactly been great, in my opinion. I think it's also because we tend to compare a lot more with things that we had in our childhood. And obviously, compared to childhood, we're not going to come close to that. We're just not. Because childhood, we had a different perspective. We had no idea how much prep, how much work it takes to get to that point. We're not as buffered by what's happening in the world. Like we're way more buffered from what's happening in the world when we're children, etc. We just have such a different perspective back then. So there's no way we can replicate that feeling. I think we all know this. But I think it's also just, it's just been harder to find that relaxation. And I think the other thing, it doesn't help that, well, it doesn't help as well that the internet kind of brings on a little bit of comparisonitis, so to speak. It can bring on some comparisonitis as to how the holiday before compared to this one. And I think people are now kind of fighting back a little bit with that, with trying to go with a more analog lifestyle nowadays, or being more offline and being more present. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking gibberish. Let me run back here. So, basically what I'm trying to say in terms of my own perspective on the holiday. Yeah, in some ways, the holidays haven't exactly been the same. It's basically been, for me, another day in the office, but with pretty lights outside for a little bit. And it also doesn't help that in the United States, there isn't real, unless you come from like a Catholic tradition or a tradition where they'll do the holidays for a good stretch. Like at least for like Judaism, for example, they have Hanukkah, right? That goes 8 days. And then for Kwanzaa, there's 6 days. And then Buddhism, you got the one day. There's Buddha's birthday happening in December, I believe, as well. Vesak, I think it's called. That goes for like 1 or 2 days. But at least there isn't, like, the point is, there really isn't like a build-up, per se, compared to Christmas, where there's a literal season after it. So right now, it's day 3 of Christmas. If you want to go the 12 days of Christmas route, it's day 3. And the United States, nowadays, they make a big deal of Advent. Advent, they'll go for a while. And I think now people are finally starting to catch the program a little bit, because they're keeping their decorations up until January. But in the past, they basically have this huge build-up until Christmas Day, and then after Christmas, boom, back to business. We're just prepping for New Year's, and then we're just gonna move it right along. We're tired. Just move it right along. And I'm like, can y'all at least respect the season? If you're gonna give us 4 to 6 weeks of build-up, give us 4 to 6 weeks to come down. Like, that's just setting me up for disappointment. So I just stopped enjoying the holiday after a while, because I mean, there was just so much build-up, and then the day just couldn't match up to all those weeks of build-up, and it just left me oftentimes blue and depressed after Christmas, and then it would, and then I would get increasing anxiousness as New Year's came up. So a good chunk of the holidays was just getting eaten up by this crisis energy that I was feeling. And then pretty soon that feeling started creeping into Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving, if you talk with an Indigenous person, because, well, it's a memoir of a massacre. For them, it's a day of mourning and resistance, especially if you go to California or Massachusetts. So Thanksgiving, I couldn't really get into that either, even though I really wanted to spend time with family. I really wanted to flex my culinary muscles. But with the history of the holiday, I couldn't get the gumption to actually celebrate, so to speak. It's too weird of a holiday. I like gratitude and all that, but I just couldn't get behind it. So I would end up down in Thanksgiving. Then I would climb up just a little bit for Christmas, but then drop down even further because the Christmas day didn't exactly match the build-up. And then I finally get the spirit maybe on Boxing Day or a couple days afterward, but everybody's like moved on. It's like, okay, we're done with Christmas. Let's get to New Year's already. And it's like, no, y'all, can you give me at least a little bit of time for me to actually adjust to the season? And then New Year's hits, my anxiety finally comes down, but I'm just tired. I'm just trying to keep it all together and not more or less affect everyone else with that feeling. So, interestingly, seeing everybody else feeling the same, like actually finally admitting they've been feeling the same way that I have been, was really fascinating. But funnily enough, this year was the one time this didn't happen. This phenomenon didn't happen for me. I think because, well, I was abroad when Thanksgiving occurred, so I didn't even, like, participating in the holiday wasn't even an option for me when I went abroad, and we didn't really make a big deal out of it. So it was like I got like basically a super long vacation, albeit the circumstances were not the greatest. Rest in peace, Grandma. And then I came back in the beginning of December, like around at the beginning of December, and then I flew down to here, Florida, midway through the month. So the build-up, long story short, the build-up to the holiday didn't feel so big because I was away from the capitalistic influence at that point. And so I didn't really realize like Christmas was nearby until lights started showing up on the streets where I was. And I was like, oh, Christmas is coming up. And then I come home. Granted, I kind of felt bad that I wasn't able to like get anything or make anything for people. I didn't have enough time for that. But I actually got excited for the holiday for once. Because that epic buildup just wasn't there. Case in point, the relatives that I'm visiting right now, they don't make a big deal of Christmas compared to like me or even like my brother. My brother and his family, and even my family, we make a big deal of Christmas. We love the we love the carols, we love the music, we love the food. We just started doing Christmas dinner ever since last year, and it's been great. I want to keep that tradition going. I also started celebrating Yule, the winter solstice, for the past 2 to 3 years, and that's been a new tradition for me. And I feel like Yuletide, for me, while traditionally in the Celtic Wheel of the Year, Samhain's the Celtic New Year, I still lean towards Yuletide. Yule, the winter solstice, to be my new year, because I mean, not only is it closer to like the Gregorian calendar New Year, I also feel as if like winter is time to just rest, renewal, like that kind of renewal. And I mean, the sun, S-U-N, and then S-O-N, if you're going with the Christian calendar, that's like the sun is born again from the darkness. And from the solstice onward, the sun is going to be out more and more and more. So that's why for me, Yule feels like a new year. Even though Samhain's called traditionally as a new year. And yeah, having Yuletide be where I put my celebration energy at, and then Christmas is kind of like the second Yuletide or the second Christmas, to borrow from the Hobbits a little bit. Like they have their second breakfast, I have my second Christmas. Yule's my second Christmas. So it feels like that anticipation energy is finally going somewhere. And I actually enjoyed singing carols this year. I really had a lot of fun. I watched all the holiday specials. In terms of that's when I finally started feeling like Christmas to me. So yeah. I know some people didn't feel like Christmas. And for those who felt like that this year, I apologize. I hope next year is much better. For those who did find some sense of Christmas spirit, even if it is in a small way, I hope you all still had a good season. I certainly hope that this last week of 2025, and especially 2026 and beyond, are really fulfilling for you. Because in 2025 especially, if you go a little bit of numerology, 2025 is a 9-year. It's a year of conclusions. Things are closing the book. We're closing a chapter. And so, next year is a 10-1. A 10/1 year. 2026. So if you add the digits 2, then 6, it's 10. And then if you want to narrow it down, it's 1. So, next year is when new things are happening. And considering, especially here in the United States, it's a massive year. It's 250 years. 250 since the Declaration of Independence was signed. It's a massive year. And in multiple ways, because not only, number one, 250 years since the Declaration was signed, number one. And number two, interestingly, historians say, on average, 250 years is when empires usually fall. That's the average length of time. And we're just about to hit that come next year. Not getting political here. I'm just talking about an observation that historians have made. That like the average empire tends to last between 250 and 300 years. We just hit the come next year, we're just about to hit on July 4th. We're going to hit that deadline. So next year is certainly going to be an interesting time, for sure. Really gonna be interesting. But yeah, this Tarot Saturday in particular, I decided to also include my YouTube fam as well in the mix, because some of you might not have an idea as to like, why do I make this a Twitch exclusive? Well, today I'm not making it exclusive, and this time you're gonna know what I do on these Tarot Saturdays. So, typically when I do Tarot Saturdays, I usually have people jump on my channel, either through my chat here or recently through my Discord server, which is linked in the descriptions of both my Twitch and my YouTube. You can ask your questions to me, and then I will shuffle some cards. I will shuffle some cards. We will have deep discussions. And then I hope that my biggest hope when doing these pools is that you come away empowered, inspired, ready to take on the world. That is my aim with these readings. The predictions that I pull tend to be coincidental. My main thing is information and storytelling, and especially an encouragement for you to start to revise the stories that you tend to tell yourself. Because the biggest thing that these cards give me and to any of us is perspective. It's perspective. Perspective is everything to me. Perspective, it's how we look at the world, how we interact with it, how excuse me, how we just greet life, or how life, and even how life greets us. And I've been taking that perspective to heart recently. I've been trying to see the blessings and the beauty around me more often, because especially when you get older and when you get frustrated with how things are going, especially if things aren't going the way you think they're supposed to go, be it actions, be it results, not easy. Not easy at all. It's not easy. It can get overwhelming. Something can get frustrating. And the biggest thing that I learned is we have a lot more that is in our say than we think, right? There's a lot more that we have in our corner than we think, right? So, my hope with using these tools that I have, just scratching the surface of what I have too. My hope with these tools that I've got is that I am able to help you start to be able to turn your self-narrative around to a story that is more empowering, to a story that's more enriching to you and your life, so that way you can start taking action towards the things that you want to do that make you come alive. You go to bed with less regrets, and you wake up excited. Well, excited more often than not. And if you're going through a difficult time, to know that you are not alone, and there is support if and when you need it, even if it doesn't look like it right now. And to more importantly, trust yourself and the people and the things around you. So that's what I do. That's what I like doing with my stuff. Yeah. And my tech has kind of been, I admit my tech has been kind of iffy. But, oh, excuse me. But I really been wanting to do some meetings today. So, do I want to do a Wheel of the Year for 2026? Or do I want to look back on 2025? Not sure. I got up all the spreads here, and there's so many spreads that I need to add into this book. Well, it is a waxing moon. So, it is a waxing moon, and I believe the full moon should hit by the time the new year comes. So I'm thinking I start with some messaging of things that you may want to keep in mind as we cross into this threshold that is the new year. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, yeah, doing that. And we'll go from there. Okay? I admit, today I've been pretty tired. I did not even know if I was going to be able to make it for today's stream, let alone if I was going to be able to stream twice. But surprisingly, I did today. So, go me. If things are really slow tomorrow, which looks like odds are good, probably will be, I might stream again actually tomorrow, because I'm literally so close to getting affiliate. I just need one more stream where I have 3 people on it, 3 average viewers in 4 days. I literally have one more stream to go to answer Tobias and Tantalus's question, or Tantalus Studios' question about how close am I to affiliate. I am literally one stream away. So, y'all please spread the word if you can, if you happen to see me online, because I would love that. But just even that, just the fact that even that's an option is pretty incredible. All right. So, what do you have, messages do you have for us for this waxing moon season? Oh, I jumped in here. This one. We'll get there in a moment. Excuse me. I feel like ever since yesterday, I've been eating everything in sight because I've been so hungry. Maybe because I've been upping my activity recently. I've been walking around every day, except for today. Today I needed a break. Because even this morning, if anybody tuned in to my stream yesterday morning, I went to the beach. It's about 20 minutes from, actually no, not 20, like 15 minutes from my aunt's place to watch the sunrise. We did it again today, and it was even more beautiful. I wish I filmed it. Well, or at least put it online for you all to see. But it was still really gorgeous. Took a lot of photos. Six. Ooh, got a stack here. All right. Got a lot of advice. Got a lot of advice going on. I'm feeling like maybe I should sport this primary advice. I got 4 here and 6 one. I guess I'll hold these clarifiers. Okay, so we got a huge bunch of cards here for my wax and moon spread. But yeah, because of those 2 mornings in a row where I had to wake up early, like my body was like, put me down, put me down. So like after we got back, I just napped. I napped for like 2 hours the moment I got back. My body was screaming for rest, and I was like, and I felt sluggish for a like chunk of the day. It wasn't even because of like me. I wasn't sick or anything. Knock on wood. I wasn't sick or anything. I was just tired. I didn't even know I was gonna even jump on tonight. Thankfully, I did. So anyway, we got a whole bunch of cards here just for this waxing moon spread. So looks like we got doozy full of advice for excuse me, how we're gonna deal with the remainder of 2025, because we got a week, 7 days. Oh, now 6. 6, and then tomorrow will be 5. No. Wait, 4 days. We got 4 days. Then tomorrow's 3. Got 3 days left of 2025. Hard to believe. This is ending really soon. Hard to believe. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of advice between now and Wednesday. So let's take a look at what the cards say, shall we? So the first card is about where we are now. Or where I am now. Could be just me. I don't know. Yeah. Y'all. This is too real. Ladies, gents, and they, thems. We got the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is no joke. Like, the swords already are an intense suit by nature. And the 10 of Swords, you're coming out of the other side. But the big question with swords is at what cost? I mean, swords and wands. The big question with those two is victory at what cost? Because they're both different kinds of weapons. Wands are a blunt instrument. Swords, you need especially skillful means in order to be able to use it, especially to be able to use it without hurting yourself. And with the swords, you get out of the other side of that battle, but you are going to be left with the echoes of said battle. You're coming away with some battle scars. And it's like you're waking up from a dream that you didn't want to go through. And it's making you stare at the aftermath of everything that you've had to basically cut away. Whether by choice or out of self-defense, or just out of sheer requirement of survival. Regardless of the motive, it's exhausting. And so the 10 of Swords is calling you to face everything that you've had to cut away. it's a wake-up call. And especially with it being a 9-year, there have been a lot of wake-up calls about things that haven't been working. That certainly has been the case for me. And much like the moment that started these Tarot Saturdays in the first place, here's a question that I want you to keep in mind. What are you gonna do when you have tried everything you could to fit this standard of life, this image, this simulacra that we call life? What are you gonna do when you basically have nothing to lose? That's basically how I approach these Saturdays. Because when I first started pulling these cards, I basically had nothing left to lose. And I had everything to gain, like everything to gain from this. And you know what? I did gain a lot. I'm about to get affiliate on Twitch. I'm about to have a second job pretty soon. I'm excited. I'm about to get a second job because of this. I'm about to be able to do more for you thanks to just taking this leap of faith. And it also has made me pay attention to what playing it safe, for what keeping quiet, for what all these things have basically cost me. And so, pulling these cards, if I can make somebody make sure that this feeling of like feelings of I'm just being laid bare, but not in a good way. If I can prevent this from happening to someone else, of just being worn out, exhausted, left with desolation. If I can prevent that for someone else, I think I've done my job. So, with that, one thing I recommend as well, I'm going to paste the link in the chat, is this video by Bailey Varnell. She did this video about your personal year. So what you're going to do is you're going to add up your birthday plus 2026, which is a 1 year, by the way. Add your numbers together until you're down to a single digit. Unless it's, with the exception of if it's 11, 22, or 33. If you add up to those numbers, keep it the same, because that is a master number in numerology. But if you go down to like anywhere between 1 and 9, if it doesn't naturally go down to 11, 22, or 33, use that. Excuse me. So, my birthday is August 7th. So for me, 8 plus 7 plus 1 equals 16. Then I add those two together. My personal year is a 7 year. once I hit 2026, my birthday in 2026. So personally, I'm going through a 6-year. And then 2026, after my birthday, it'll become a 7-year. And the definitions are different. And considering what happened this year, it makes a lot of sense. Because 6 years are about prioritizing yourself over self-sacrifice. It's like, this is like the year of individuation. Healing yourself of things that you've taken way too much responsibility for. Taking responsibility where you didn't need to. And then, next year for me is year 7. Year 7 is about inner alignment. Now we're getting to the fun part. This is where you get to figure out what your creativity style is. And reconnecting with your spiritual nature, reconnecting with your creativity, inner alignment. And most importantly, making sure you don't taking the time with the process as being stagnant. So that's my personal year. So take a look at that. Give that a shot. Shout out to Bailey Varnell for making this video. Take a look at that. See how your year went, and see where you're going next. Thinking about it now, it makes a lot of sense why this year was a 6-year. Why a lot of this stuff happened the way it did. But anyway, we're going to continue on with this spread because we got a whole bunch of cards in here. So the next one for the Waxing Moon spread is, where do I want to be? Where do we want to be? Where it feels like I and me. It feels really interesting. So we got 2 cards here. And one was a jumper, which are covered in here, which is the 6 of Pentacles. And considering my current situation, it makes sense. I very much want to be supported by being able to do things that I love. Now, not everyone's going to be that way. There's some people who are like, the thing that I like, the thing that I enjoy is too sacred. I do not want that to go through the corporate machine. And this was me once upon a time. I was very much of that. But I did try alternatives that I did genuinely enjoy. Like work that I did genuinely enjoy, but it wasn't this. This is where, like, these cards are where my soul is right now. And this is where being able to do this, being able to pull cards like this, is where I find the most joy. This is where I feel like I'm a benefit to the people that I love and care about. And in this case, it's a cycle of benefits. Because in a way, with me pulling these cards, I'm the benefactor that gives back to the community. And then likewise, you all by tuning in, and then occasionally donating your time or just spreading the word, you're also the flute player giving back to this page. So it's a cycle of giving. I feel like the Light Seers Tarot illustrated this point a bit better with the infinity symbol of the give and take. Because, like, who's the benefactor and who's getting the benefits blurs together after a while. So I'm feeling where we want to be is to be in a cycle of giving and receiving, where we're able to receive nurturing, to be able to do the things that we like another day. And then likewise, we're able to give our community the best that we have to offer in terms of our gifts and our talents and our time and our love and our happiness to other people. That's where I'm feeling. with that one. The other card that we got, the High Priestess. She's been coming up quite a bit recently. The High Priestess is a balance between the sacred and the mundane. The one who is in between worlds. Carrying a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge over time. Being a living being. Balancing in between these worlds almost seamlessly. And exploring the mysteries of life. So, it's two different kinds of balance that we're achieving here. It's the balance of the mysterious and the profound. And then also the balance of giving and receiving of resources, of energy, of time, be it literal or metaphorical. Very interesting. Whew. So next, for number 3, we got a couple of cards here as well. Habits and strengths to nurture. We have, first off, the Two of Cups. So nurture your sense of emotional intimacy and connection. Know what it's like to connect with other people, with other living beings. Knowing that we are interconnected. Reignite some relationships. Bond. Remember what it's like to be part of this earth. Part of a people. I really like to live out the saying, Asgard is a people, not a place. Take the time and find your people, because they are out there. And to those that say it's too late after a certain age, I recently came across this video where they said, find your people in your 20s or 30s or it's too late. Let me tell you something. They're freaking liars. Yes. Yes, of course, Kizzy Boo. Welcome. I am doing a community reading right now, and then Kizzy Boo from YouTube, you are next, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Anyway, get back to the message here. For those who say that after your 30s it's too late, they're freaking liars, okay? They are lying. It's just for clicks. You have an opportunity to make a community anytime, any day, any age. It is never too late. The only time it's too late is when you're on the other side. As long as you're here on this plane, make those friends. Live that life you've always wanted to live. Some rules are not hard and fast. So make those connections. Other card that I got here for, whatchamacallit? For the waxing moon, habits, strengths to nurture, is the Chariot. Chariot's been coming up a lot too. Don't know why. Recently. The Chariot. The Chariot usually is a symbol of victory and a triumph over obstacles. Especially with this version of the Chariot, I keep thinking about the sign of Cancer, which is a very emotionally sensitive sign. And I'm feeling But the thing that we need to cultivate is to remember to celebrate the wins that we have, and to steer ourselves towards whatever that we feel is meant for us, and trust that we will get to the other side of it. Because we will. Chariot is a symbol of victory in tarot. Excuse me. So, maintaining these emotional connections and steering ourselves towards victory. 2 habits we need to develop and nurture during this season. Then next, we have relationships to develop and nurture. Got the Hermit. So it's interesting. Habits and strengths to nurture, it is very external. But the important relationship that we need to make through this time is also the relationship we need to make with ourselves. Especially with our imaginations, with our ideas, and with our thoughts. Because I've heard so many times, like too many times, where people have said, like, my brain's not my friend. I don't like my brain. I don't like where it goes. Maybe our brains are terrifying because we don't take the time to actually get to know it. We don't give it the space it deserves. We don't feed it with good stuff. We just feed it with junk, so to speak. Maybe what we need to do is give it some more quality time with things that actually help us. Knowledge that helps us. Wisdom that helps us. Pay attention to what wisdom it has to share. Because sometimes, I mean, yeah, of course, if you need proper mental health support, go get it. Please go get that. Simultaneously, again, revise the story a little bit. Revise your story. See the world a little differently. Take the time to reflect. Don't put so much pressure as to what your mind should be, and see what it really is. That's the hardest part of all of this. But it's also very necessary work. So, Kiziboo Low, if you are still there, please feel free to put in your question in the chat, and I will pull you next, because we're almost done with this community read. So, final 2 reads we have here. Number 5, knowledge and skills to develop and nurture. We've got the 8 of Cups. So, similarly to the Hermit, this is a time to go through your emotional depths. Find out what makes you tick, what makes you come alive, what makes you sad, what makes you angry, what drives you to do things. Seek your answers within. Whatever you're seeking is seeking you. I'm feeling there was a call for you to get back in touch with community and to celebrate your wins. And simultaneously, in terms of your habits and your skills, in terms of your relationships and your knowledge, it's time for you to start getting to know yourself again. don't go so, get get an advisor if you can, get a counselor if you can, get somebody who can at least give you a roadmap to get to know yourself. But ultimately, don't base your identity on externalizing so much. Get to know yourself on the inside too. Take the time to get to know yourself beyond the social labels you tend to get. Allow yourself to identify with something different. Okay. So, final card. Where to point our intentions, especially in 2026 during the season. So we've got a number of cards here. This one's been coming up a lot, and it's kind of funny as well. We got another 8. So we've got 8 of Cups, and now we got the 8 of Wands. So we pretty got all 4 suits in here. We got a lot of Cups. We got Pentacles. We got Swords, and now we got Wands. So a little bit of Tarot 101 here. Swords, all about logic. It's the element of air. It's cutting away the BS to get to the truth of what's going on. And the truth can set you free, even if it can be cutting, literally and metaphorically. Then we got the Pentacles, element of earth. This is where our financial material stability comes in. Our creature comforts. What nurtures us. Then the Cups, element of water. Our emotions, our feelings, One second. Sorry. My first name got doxed. Whee! But yeah, that's literally the basis of my name. Sia. Anyway. Anyway. Back to suits. Sorry. So, Cups, water, intuition, emotions. Water, intuition, emotions. Even emotional nurturing, or sometimes even material possessions can also be used metaphorically with water. Just forgot the terms that... Now I remember now, sorry. Liquid assets, liquidation, cash flow, money flow. Even material possessions can sometimes be used in metaphors of water, but in the case of tarot, it's mostly in terms of emotion and intuition. And there's a call for intuition, both in terms of your relationships with other people and with yourself. That's been a call. And finally, with the Wands, it's about passion. It's about drive. What gets you going? Element of fire. Basically, the engine that makes you go. Excuse me. I am so sorry. This is not going very smoothly for my final stream. A very weekend stream, but you know what? It is what it is. So the 8 of Wands for where to point your intentions. We got 3 more cards here that clarify this. It's about the journey. The journey towards that passion. The journey towards finding your bliss. Finding the thing that really gets you going. Because finding that thing, it starts with putting that wish out there into the universe and following where it lands. Some of it's going to land in probably not so fertile ground. Other ones, it's going to thrive. as I thrive where it lands. And it's a great undertaking. But part of what gets it going is faith. A little bit of luck too, but also faith. Because I don't know if you noticed with this interpretation of the card, there's dandelion seeds. And dandelion seeds, they're a big symbol of faith, of wishes. Like, I don't know if you remember, if you were a child, you played, like, you made a wish on the seeds that you blew, and they landed. You just had this really interesting trust that whatever wish you were gonna make, it was gonna come true. Or even if it didn't come true, just the possibility was amazing. That's the thing that you should put your energy towards as well. I mean, also blowing out birthday candles. That's also another manifestation of that, another iteration of that kind of energy. Allow yourself to feel what it's like to dream like that again. And to act on said dream. Act on that wish. I think as problematic as wish was, I think it still had a pretty important message of not allowing your dream to be overtaken or destroyed by someone else. So we got 3 more cards here, and all of them I've had in previous readings. So, first bit to think about is the Queen of Cups. And it's pretty much the thesis of what I've been saying this entire stream, which is you are the master of your emotions and your reality and your intuition. Allow yourself to wield it. Wield those powers for your highest and greatest good. This is why it's important to get to know yourself. Because then you will know how to tap into the energy that is your intuition to get closer to what it is that you've been wishing for. And it's going to seem messy, dang messy at first. But eventually there's a rhythm. There is a sense to it. There is, albeit a twisty, topsy-turvy logic, there is a logic. Even if it's not head-based logic, it's heart-based logic. And the heart has a lot more nerve endings compared to most of the places in your body, with the exception of your brain, of course. There's a lot going on here. And your vagus nerve, too. Your gut. So, excuse me. Learn how to trust your multiple intelligences, and you will go far. Next, we've got the 10 of Pentacles. Excuse me. 10 of Pentacles. Enjoy the resources that you do have, even if they seem small. Enjoy the good things that you have in front of you and the good fortune that has come towards you. You have worked hard to get to this point. So, really take the time and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you deserve it. It doesn't have to be the traditional financial success. It can also be wealth in an energetic, in a spiritual sense. The friends you keep, the food you have in your fridge or your pantry, the people you have in your life the collection that you've treasured up until this point. Enjoy all those good things, because they are there for a reason. We are beings in physical bodies, so allow yourself to enjoy those things. And finally, last certainly not least, in terms of pieces of advice of where to point your intentions in terms pertaining of the Eight of Wands, we've got the Nine of Wands, successor. So, for some of your dreams, could be one last push towards victory. And I know how exhausting it can get. I know how tiring it can get when it's been something that's been long and hard won and long and arduous and just, I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Kind of, it's going to break. You will get that break. That breakthrough will occur. You just need to be patient and just do that one last push. One last push towards victory. I feel like I'm talking to myself here with this poll, because this whole thing feels like my life right now. For all I know, this could be for me. And I just put myself on the internet on blast. But it's also a call for you to be vigilant of being prepared for anything that can come your way. I mean, they say the overarching story is overnight success is a myth, like in terms of like instant success. What often gets missing is how many not so successful nights a person had to go through in order to get to that overnight success. And so it's a reminder of inner strength. The inner strength that you have, the reserves that you have, they are wide. So remember how big that inner reserve is. And looking at the spread now, it's kind of incredible because it feels like it's like the perfect one-on-one summary. This is like basically the perfect summary of what's been happening this year, like this past year, really. So I will admit, 2025 has ripped me right open. It has made me realize there are some situations that I just do not want to tolerate anymore. And certainly there are some things that I want to be more proud of. I want to do, like, there's some things I really want to do that I haven't really given myself a chance to do until now with this. And then I want to be able to balance my finances with the things that I care about. Because I'm in between spaces right now. I'm transitioning between fields of work that I want to do, and then also being able to support myself and other people. And then the two most important things I need to do: have strengths to nurture, how to celebrate small wins, and how to connect with other people. One of the things that I said to myself that 2026 I want to improve my communication. I want to be able to broadcast myself better and actually talk to people for once, not like talk for a little while, then go ghost for like a protocol for like a month and then I come back and then so much has happened. I'm done with that happening now. I want to be a bit more consistent with my relationships. And then simultaneously, a call for me to get to know my mind, get to know myself again. Get deeper on what it is that my mind and my heart have to say to me. Get to know my intuition again. As me and Magic will call her intuition. And where to point my intentions is the journey ahead. to know how to use my intuition, to celebrate the resources that I do have, and most importantly, to be vigilant for when that next opportunity arises. This was my year in a nutshell. This whole thing right here is my year in a nutshell. Well, it was my year in a nutshell. Kind of incredible how that got summed up in 11 cards. 11 cards summed up all that. That's incredible. Howie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's deep. So, I will be right back. I need to hydrate a little bit because I am a little warm. But we will be back for more cards. If I don't see anybody add stuff in the chat, I will probably end it here. And I'll probably come back tomorrow. So it did start a little later than usual. So stay tuned, everybody. Right back.